No job is complete without at least doing one step, right? No stair nose will be used in the making of this video. What do you think? Not bad for his first time. Today, it's everything you need to know about vinyl flooring, from where to start, to direction, making that tough cut, and even a product review.
Hey, what do you say? This whole town could be red by the end of the day. If you feel alright, we can throw it and drive. With the radio up so loud they can hear us from miles.
Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tim. I'm a flooring and stair contractor, and we are coming to you from Pembroke Pines, Florida today. This is actually the city where I grew up and both my kids were born, but I always enjoy visiting here and brings back some good memories. So without any further ado, let's hit it. So today we're installing the Shaw Floorte waterproof vinyl flooring, and our color is color 01098, but I assume it has a name as well, but we're not privy to it. And with any vinyl floor that you install, well, let me take a step back. With almost every vinyl floor you install, you're gonna want to put your 6mm poly vapor barrier under it. This is a must if you want to eliminate moisture from the ground rising up into your house. But to really double down on moisture protection, we are on a lot of our jobs sealing the concrete prior to installation, and then it's completely foolproof. Be sure to check out our videos on moisture sealing concrete. We have them for all different types of floor, from glue down wood floor to laminate to vinyl. We show you what we use and how we do it. Now we are also doing a bathroom here. It's a half a bath, so there's no shower to contend with, but you notice what we did here. We took out the toilet, which is a must. You never want to cut around a toilet. And we were lucky enough that the vanity was not in. Now, vanity, open to interpretation. You can cut around it and use some trim or do a new toe kick on it. But the toilet, there's no two ways about it. That toilet needs to come out. You'll never be happy with it any other way. If you want your installation to look professional, you must undercut door jambs and any wood that goes to the ground that will not receive trim, like my son is doing here. This is really simple. He just uses a scrap board and runs an oscillator saw on top of it to set the height. Also, you always want to take into consideration the direction you want to lay your floor, and I go by a couple rules. The direction I walk into a room, I always want to look down the planks. It's going to make the room look bigger. I also consider a light flow. We have a glass door back here. And this is our front door, so we're walking into the room here, right? So that checks off two of our boxes. And then the overall length of the room. So if our room was longer side to side, then it would be open to interpretation which way I want to lay it. But we checked all three boxes here. Light flow, the way I walk into the room, and the length of the room. So those are my three factors to determine which way I want to lay my floor. And once we determine which way we run the floor, then we can pick our starting wall. Now, a lot of people will tell you it's the longest, straightest wall, and they're right. But it's not always the case. I always tell people you have to take the overall job into consideration. One of the things I find more important is making sure that you're going to lay most of the job forward with that big tongue sticking out. We call it a backfill when you have to lay the floor backwards. In our case here, just the kitchen's going to have to be backwards, but it's a pretty square room and it's pretty simple, so it's not too bad. The alternative would have been to start on this short wall here, and then we could have laid most of the house, including the kitchen, forward and in the easier direction to lay a floor, but then we'd have 1, 2, 3 separate areas we'd have to lay backwards, and tight spaces are a lot worse to lay backwards than big square rooms like a kitchen. And then because we start on this small wall, we're not going to be guaranteed that our floor is as straight as the longer wall, which is why most people say the longest, straightest wall. Also, they have tile going under this floor here, and the last installer, family member, leveled the grout joints, but he did a horrible job, and prior to installation, we had to come in here and correct it. So we have videos to show you how to float grout joints. If you have thick grout joints in your tile, please check them out. You don't want to be in a situation that our client was in here, because guess what? We had to fix all this, and it is a messy process when we have to come in and grind tiled grout joints. Now check this out. This is the grout joint. Probably didn't questionable whether it needed to be floated in the first place. I was told that some of the corners and stuff were a little uneven, so that might have went into the thought process, but this is way too thick. Not necessary. In the kitchen here, notice the cabinets are already in. You never want to install floor under kitchen cabinets, but guess what? We are going to make it look like the floor goes under these kitchen cabinets. It's not magic. It's called toe kicks. And we're going to go ahead and install our floor right up, leaving a small amount of expansion right up to the edge of the existing toe kick. And then we're going to install this new toe kick. It's actually a skin, they call it in the cabinet world. This is a skin. It goes onto the front of your existing toe kick, and it'll cover the edge of our floor and make it look like the floor is under the kitchen cabinets. That is the way you do it. We have a job coming up in a few weeks where they installed it under the kitchen cabinets, and now they have to replace the floor because they have a major leak in the house. And guess what? That might have led to some of the problems they're having with their floor because it is under the kitchen cabinets and it's pinned down. So never install your floor under kitchen cabinets. I will say it has been a couple years since I've installed the Shaw Floorte. One of the things I remember the last time I installed it was that they're very flexible boards, and I guess they still are in comparison to like Nucor and even the Lifeproof. These do have a lot more give to them. Now, rigid cores typically don't bend this much, but I can tell you, I've installed this quite a few times over the years, and I've never had a problem for many of our clients. And the Provenza does flex like this as well, and that's my favorite floor. If you watch any of my videos, you know we talk about Provenza all the time, and their floors flex like this too, so it is pretty forgiving. As far as durability goes, let's do a little test here. Back of my knife. You know, over the years, I've done so many estimates for clients, and one of the first things people like to do when you're on an estimate, when they're checking out your samples, is take out their car keys. Don't ask me why they want to scratch your floor with their car keys. I don't think they would ever do that in the real world once their floor is installed, but they seem to want to test it that way. Not going to get my car keys out. Well, oh, why not? The razor knife, back of the razor knife, did not leave any lasting scratches. It left a little transfer mark, but that rubs off. Let's give it the age-old car key test. Tried and true, practiced by clients around the country where we've worked. Look at that. Well, if that ain't proof that this is a pretty durable floor, I don't know what is. Years ago, one of the other knocks on vinyl was it was soft and it could leave indents. I've had countless people call me and contact me over the years on some images they've seen online on some of the old Nucor floors that first came out with dents and dings in them from furniture. And I like to tell my clients that's probably some of the first generations of Nucor floors, but those videos are still up. I have tested Nucor myself personally, never had that issue. But let's give it a little test here while we're on the job with this floor. Let's stick my keys under there and put some weight on them and see if we can't leave a dent in this board while we're working today. He is doing this whole installation without having to use a chop saw or table saw at all. That's why I love the vinyl floors. This is our last row trick here. You notice no tape measure is needed. We use a marking board. Placing the board we want to cut over the last row, using our marking board to actually show us where we want to put our line. And then the beautiful thing about vinyl is no saws needed, just a razor knife and a snap. Gotta love the vinyl. And he's gonna mark and cut this board without using a tape measure. He flipped the board backwards so the big tongues were facing each other. Marked the board where they intersected. Used a speed square to get a nice straight line. Speed squares are really important tools when you're doing any kind of flooring installation. And then he just cuts it with his razor knife and snaps it. And now what he's doing is using his razor knife to bevel the bottom of the board on an angle, taking off the bottom corner of the board so that it will fit tighter to the front of the house. Beveling the board like that is a trick we use all the time to get our boards nice and snug. Wow, this had to be the most exciting part of the video for me when I was editing it, because I said, wow, look at the back of my head. No bald spot. I know I look like I'm in my early 20s, but I'm not. And I was so excited to see that lovely head of hair. Wow, I could look at this all day, but I won't. Sorry, I digress. Let's get back to the video. Keep in mind, this room is our backfill room, our reverse room here. We put these boards in to space out. This is the board we're gonna cut into there. This is basically like the last row trick in reverse. Taking a marking board, drew my line right there. I'll cut that out and then it'll fit right into here. Cuts like this, you want to have a fresh blade, so time for that blade change. It's like an oil change in your car, you know when it's time. So I want to point out, if you have a cut like this and you have a small sliver, be very careful because you can break this section off. If you have the saw, this would be a good place to probably use it if you're not experienced at snapping these boards. Look at that. You can actually see where it broke right there. Look at that. That is perfect. Took the guesswork right out of that cut. And of course, with all of our installations, I highly recommend using baseboards, not quarter round, installing the new base over the completed floor, and then eliminating the need for that little piece of trim to push your furniture out any further than you need it. Look at that. Look at that. That is nice. And our go-to baseboard now is just a square top. Simple, yet elegant. It just really finishes off any room. Now, there's different types and thicknesses of the square top baseboard. I like to call it the modern profile baseboard. You have anywhere from the 5.5 that we're using here to a smaller 3.5 all the way up to 11.25. The different thicknesses, of course. I like to use the 1/2 inch. It's become a lot more popular. The 3/4 was the one that we were using for a while, but this is a lot more modern and simple. Look at that. That is nice. So this floor is a water damage. I guess they had a laminate floor or something that was in here before. You can actually see this is an old piece of baseboard, and it actually has some mold on it. They went with the MDF trim. Look at that. This is an MDF baseboard, right? Not so resistant to moisture. When you're doing waterproof flooring, you know, don't cheap out on the base. You're going to want to go ahead and get the pine. Like I was saying, this was a water damage, and the old floor they had it installed. It was not done by a professional installer. It was a family member, and they did a lot of things differently. Apparently they had a huge threshold going across this back door, and with vinyl it doesn't expand very much, so we're just going to run our floor right into this metal threshold here, and then we'll caulk this edge. It'll look built in. When you put that threshold here, it looks tacky. Our client said the blinds weren't closing properly, and it's a tripping hazard. Don't do it if you don't have to. I go above and beyond to try to eliminate any thresholds on our projects at all. And I'm proud to say on this installation, we're not going to have a single threshold. Almost 700 feet of floor, no thresholds will be used. Look at that. That is professional. That is nice. No job is complete without at least doing one step, right? I'd rather do the whole staircase, but today we actually did one step. We do it like no one else. We actually take the floor and we bend it to the shape of your step so that you don't need any stair nose. No stair nose will be used in the making of this video. We're introducing nothing but the vinyl floor in the step. And of course, we're doing a white riser. It's not a white riser yet. Check it out. It is going to be painted white eventually. But this is how we do it. If you want to do your staircase in these steps, be sure to check out all of our other videos. And of course, we ship worldwide. All you do is tell us the floor you want to use on your staircase. We'll buy it locally here and we'll ship it back to you made just like this. We can usually have all orders shipped out within one week. So if you're in a hurry to get your project done, we'll get it faster to you than if you had to order stair nose. And of course, it's much better than stair nose because it's flush, it matches, and it's everything you should expect from a staircase. All right, just wrapping things up. Let's go ahead and check our board. See if we were able to dent it. Tell you what, I don't see any marks, no dents. This is the board I was scratching up earlier. Gave it the old key test that my customers have come up with over the years to test all their floors. And this floor held up pretty good. This is the Shaw Floorte. Color 01098. I don't know, I'd do something about the name, it's not very catchy. But besides the name of the floor, which I'm not so impressed with, it installed really nice. We were able to put in close to 700 feet in some challenging areas, tight spaces, you know, bathrooms. This was fun under the stairs here. I actually got it under that without having to use any trim. Kitchen area here. Cut it nice around all these cabinets. Hit it with a little caulk after. Here's our new toe kick. So it looks like the floor is under the cabinets. Check that out. I love making it look like the floor goes under the cabinets. Not bad for a day's work, over 700 feet of the Shaw Floorte, color 01098. It's a nice light color, pretty consistent look. Has a little bit of light to dark tones in it, more on the edges of the board. It's not a high variation floor, it's like a mid to low variation with a couple of light spots here and there, like a hickory look. Installed really nice. It's a little more flexible than a lot of the vinyls out there, which is, if you have a floor that has a little pitch to it, maybe it's a good thing. Durability wise, you saw the tests that we did on it, you know, and the install is nice. It's pretty durable. It's a good color. It checks all the important boxes, so I'd recommend this floor. And with any floor, if you install it the right way and you take care of it, it should last. I don't want to say a lifetime, but it should last a while. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out all of our other content. We have lots of great videos just like this with vinyl floors, laminate floors, staircases, and much, much more. So please like, share, tell your friends and family, and of course, if you already haven't, take out your favorite flooring mallet and smash that subscribe button so you don't miss any future content. Thanks for watching.